let's talk about the elephant in the room as it relates to Parshas Yisrael. What is an elephant in the room? Something that kind of everybody knows it's there, but nobody wants to. Some people say we have to notice this. It's right in front of our eyes. And other people have the personalities that say this is really uncomfortable. Let's just all collectively pretend that it's not there and it will kind of go away. Which approach is better? Should you be brutally honest and say, look what's in the middle of the room? Or should you say, let's all pretend that it's really not in the room? Quite honestly, there's room for both approaches in life. Maybe I'm a person who likes to acknowledge there is the elephant in the room, and there are lots of people who don't. They're both valid. They're both approaches in life. So what is the elephant in the room when it comes to Parshas Yisrael? The question that has been asked for 250 years. Let's say that, 250 years. I'm going to quote soon some really excellent teachings of Rabbi Reuven Wolf and quote some of the things he said. For 250 years, since this year, as I'm going to quote this from him, this year is the 250th birthday of America. 4th of July, get ready for fireworks and all kinds of stuff. Very good. 250 years is really an important, something huge. It's a quarter of an elef, 1,000 years, which is a very powerful concept, a very powerful chunk of time spiritually, Baruchnius. So this year will be 250 years of America, and simultaneously it will be 250 years since the first Chabad house was established in the world, so to speak. The first Chabad center, the Alter Rebbe, I learned this from Rabbi Wolf, the Alter Rebbe established the first Chabad center to present his approach of how to understand Torah in 1776. So you have on two sides of the world, from above and from below. From above is the Alter Rebbe and his teachings and his understanding of Torah. That's from above. And from below, America is being born. And that's from below. So from above and from below, like the idea of the 600th year of Noah's life, the windows of heaven opened up. That's from above. Torah raining down, the essence of Torah raining down in a powerful way. And from below, the lower world, the world of technology, the Industrial Revolution, all of that coming up to meet it in the middle. That is the way the Geula is ushered in. Okay, so back to this. So 250 years ago, first Chabad center established by the Alter Rebbe. Now, what was the point of it? The point is to elucidate this week's Parsha. Why did the Alter Rebbe open it up 250 years ago? Two reasons. Because ultimately, the purpose of Yiddishkeit is Tikkun Olam. The purpose of Yidden being in this world is to elevate the world, purify the world, make the world a place where Hashem can be, Basi Lagani, all of that. These are basic thoughts. The other approach to Yiddishkeit is we take care of our own and the non-Jews will have to worry about themselves. And our approach is, Torah tells us, ultimately, Geula is about we are the teachers of the world, we elevate the entire world. Okay, so imagine that turning point exactly 250 years ago, when America is being born, and America will be the place where this truth will become real. Will become real. You'll go to Manhattan, and you will see a tefillin, mitzvah tank, and people putting tefillin on people in the middle of the streets, and then they'll say, "Oh, are you Jewish?" "No, I'm not." "Oh, okay." And they'll hand them a Sheva Mitzvahs card, and this is for you. You say, "Oh, thank you so much." Or you'll walk down the street and you'll come into contact with non-Jewish people and give them Sheva Mitzvahs cards and brochures and encourage them to go on the website and learn about the Sheva Mitzvahs, because that is their connection to Torah. And thereby do Tikkun Olam, thereby bring the entire world to goodness. So both of those things, this America where that becomes possible. In Russia, you can't really, you couldn't do it. To do Sheva Mitzvahs in the places in the world where they were out to get us, God forbid. I mean, now it looks like they're out to get us again, God forbid. But this is a place, America, where teaching the non-Jewish world, the Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach, is looked on favorably. Really only in the past 20 years or so, 40 years. But it's looked on favorably. So when this upgrade in our ability to purify the world and usher in Mashiach in this physical world. When that happened, two things were happening simultaneously. The Alter Rebbe came along and presented the deeper understanding of Torah that says what I just said. And at the same time, a living laboratory was born for us to do it in. In other words, let's say it in simple language. In 1776, the Alter Rebbe was told by Hashem, so to speak, we're always told by Hashem what to do, go and establish a Chabad center, give the Jewish people and the non-Jews the ability to see the deeper kavana of all of Torah. Tikkun Olam, fix the world, make it into a dir b'tachtonim for Hashem. Expand the base of Mikdash into the entire world. That is what the Alter Rebbe is bringing out as a chiddush. Not something new, but something that was hidden inside, and he makes it available to us. 1776, by opening the first Chabad Center. But where are we going to do this? We need a place to do this, to bring out this deeper truth of Torah. Oh, okay, no problem. Hashem, could you just give birth to a country where we'll be able to do that? Sure. All right, what will we call it? The United States of America. Oh, great. Amazing. A place to do it. And a truth to unfold in a world that now you have a place to unfold that truth into. So here we are, and 250 years later, boom, we're right in the center of it. We've come to a certain completion. So what's the elephant in the room? The elephant in the room is, who is Moshe Rabbeinu in this whole interaction? Who is Moshe Rabbeinu? That means, is Moshe Rabbeinu in between, blocking our relationship with Hashem, Chas v'Shalom? Or, as we see in this week's Parsha, there are two times that Hashem gives us, in two manners in which Hashem gives us the Torah. As the Rebbe says, Torah is milashon hara. It's understood as Beidai Fana B'Amiras Aseret Dibros, Dvar Hashem Asma, and Dvar Hashem, as it's given to Moshe Rabbeinu, are in all inyanim of Torah. To say it in English, the Rebbe is saying, Lubavitcher Rebbe is saying, that we understand that since the Dibros, the Aseret Dibros were given two times, or are described, not given two times, are described two times in Parshas Yisro and Parshas Eschanan, and one is describing Hashem doing it himself, and the other one is Hashem doing it through Moshe Rabbeinu. We understand that both these ways of our connection to Torah, to Hashem directly and through Moshe Rabbeinu, both of them are fundamental ways in saying the Aseret Dibros and in saying the Dvar Hashem as it's given over to Moshe Rabbeinu. They are equally important. You can't have one without the other. They are Faran B'chol Inyanei Torah. They are there in everything in Torah. And in the Avayt of a Yid, B'limud Torah, in the Avayt of a Yid in learning Torah, and in Kima Mitzvahs B'chlal, and in doing mitzvahs, the Meshach Kol Hazmanim. These two aspects, these two channels, Hashem gives it to us directly, and Moshe Rabbeinu is there to give us what Hashem is saying. They are both equally powerfully true, and they exist in everything about Torah, everything in learning Torah, all the Chol Inyanei Torah, everything in Torah, and in the Avayt of a Yid in learning Torah, the Avayt of a Yid in doing mitzvahs throughout all of time. These are two completely parallel, valid, important, crucial pathways. Should I compare them to above and below? Maybe. Yeah. Should I compare them to go back to 1776? Just like there's the birth of the Alter Rebbe's the Alter Rebbe is not giving birth. When the Alter Rebbe gave what he did in 1776 by opening the first Chabad center, let's call it the first Chabad house, he didn't make something up, God forbid. He simply was given permission and a directive by Hashem to bring out a deeper level of Torah that until that point either wasn't necessary or we understood intrinsically. I mean, come on. Moshe Rabbeinu was not a Chabad invention. Moshe Rabbeinu this is it. The Alter Rebbe was given a directive to not ignore the elephant in the room. To see the elephant in the room as something, why should we be afraid to say it? The Torah is given to us by Hashem, and the Torah is given to us by Moshe Rabbeinu, and they're both, it's Hashem's Torah, but Moshe Rabbeinu is totally transparent vehicle through which Hashem gives us the Torah, and Hashem wants it that way. Why pretend not? Why treat it as an uncomfortable elephant in the room and pretend it didn't happen and we can't deal with it, etc.? And at this crucial moment of 1776, as we're saying, from above, the Alter Rebbe is saying, I was told by Hashem now to reveal this truth to Klal Yisrael. This needs to become a basic tenet in our Avaida. Yes, you guys will probably fight me on it, which they did for almost 250 years. But this is Hashem's truth being told to us. And we are simultaneously being given a place called America, being born this minute, that is the place in which this will become practically true. And not only that, we will see in this America that if we do not embrace that truth of Moshe Rabbeinu being a vital part of the equation, things will get really strange. From the river to the sea, all the pizza will be free. Let's just say it that way. It will get really strange. It seems that there was a speaker who spoke on a certain podcast a few days ago, and some anti-Semitic guy was saying his whole thing to this rabbi. I forget who the rabbi was, definitely not a Chabad rabbi. And this anti-Semitic guy was saying, you Jews are the problem of everything. It's your fault that all of this bad stuff is happening in Iran. It's all your fault. You're the ones behind it. And the rabbi said, you know what? It's not a Chabad rabbi. He said, you know what? Maybe you're right. We're supposed to be teaching the world the truth. And if they're still embracing evil, maybe we haven't really been stepping fully into our job of teaching the world the truth. Wow. So there you have the two 1776s. You have, what is the truth of Torah? Here's this rabbi, not Chabad, saying, you know what? We're supposed to be teaching the world the deepest truth. We haven't so much. We just criticize Chabad for trying to do it. And at the same time, we see that Hashem has given us a gift called America, where there's religious freedom, and we are in that place. We were given that place to teach the world the truth. They want to hear it, especially now. So from above and from below, the windows of heaven open up, and the great depths open up, and they meet from above and from below. It rains down, and the water comes up. In the time of Noach, from above the rain came down, and from below the great waters of the great depths came up. This is the situation. So this elephant in the room is Moshe Rabbeinu a vital part of the equation or not? And the answer is yes. And Yiddishkeit Judaism is not true Judaism unless it includes Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Kibbel Torah Misinai. This is not, Moshe Rabbeinu is not a Chabad invention. It's just that maybe Chabad was more comfortable and didn't want to make Moshe Rabbeinu into an elephant in the room, God forbid. It's a little bit disrespectful to call the concept, let's say, the concept of Moshe Rabbeinu being a vital part of our relationship with Hashem and Torah, that was an elephant in the room. And the Alter Rebbe was sent, and the Chabad approach was sent to say, let's say it openly. Moshe Rabbeinu is a vital part of the equation. Always was, always will be. Moshe Gael Rishon Gael Achron. Moshe Rabbeinu then becomes Mashiach. And Mashiach it's called Yemais HaMashiach. Moshe Rabbeinu Mashiach will always be a vital part of the equation. Hashem was then Hashem, Moshe Rabbeinu, Yidden, and Torah. And in the future it will be, and it is now already, Hashem, Mashiach, the Yidden, and Torah. It's a 4-part system. It's like a chair. And guess what? A 3-legged stool is not so stable. A 4-legged chair is pretty stable. I know, because I stepped on one a few years ago that, the 4th leg collapsed and, Had to, then you know what happens. Then you fall, and then it's a year of, PT and all that, exercises, to repair the wound. A three-legged stool is not so stable. A four-legged stool is. So this is the elephant in the room. Is Moshe Rabbeinu a vital part of Judaism? The answer is yes. And as they say, don't shoot the messenger. If we don't understand it, that is an invitation to ourselves, and it's such an important question. How does the whole thing work? That's half of the basis of all of Torah Chassidus, Chabad Chassidus, and it's fascinating answers, and it's not a one-liner. Of course, the one-liner is Moshe Rabbeinu is, and maybe we'll do this into another podcast. Moshe Rabbeinu is not a mamutza mafsik. He's not an intermediary that gets in the way. He's an invisible intermediary that has no existence. Mamutza mechaber. He simply glues together Hashem with Yidden, Yidden with Hashem. He himself is substanceless, invisible, but more than invisible, substanceless. A substanceless connection. And by the way, that's an invitation on Hashem's part to us to watch Moshe Rabbeinu and become like him. Substanceless connectors. Egoless connectors whose sole job is to connect the deepest truth with the lowest world. 1776. The deepest truth, as the Alter Rebbe is beginning to teach it, with America. America. God bless America. So we're left with two sayings in the world, and we'll sum it up. We're left with two sayings in the world that really sum up 1776. And one is the current fashionable sayings. One is, Am Yisrael Chai. And the other one is, God bless America, which we have since 9/11. So the question of Moshe Rabbeinu, it's an important research question, and maybe we can go into it more in other podcasts. Take it on for homework. Ask Hashem for the answer. Look into Chassidus. What is the answer really? It's a fascinating answer, and it's a journey answer. And may we have through that, through God bless America, the true, solid, eternal truth being accepted by the entire world, that Am Yisrael Chai. We should find ourselves in the Beis HaMikdash Shlishi immediately now.